The natural state is famous for its green timber duck hunting, but ever since Arkansas growers started cultivating rice more than a century ago, flooded rice fields have also played an important part in the state's duck hunting story. Arkansas farmers grow roughly half of the country's rice. In addition to feeding millions of people, these fields provide critical waterfowl habitat during winter, as well as abundant hunting opportunities. But these fields aren't what they used to be.
Kind of looking around rice growing country and seeing what appears to be a growing amount of fall tillage that we know from previous research puts most waste grain after rice harvest, puts it under the ground where it's not accessible to ducks. So we thought, okay, can we find a way to work with farmers to incentivize deferring that tillage and leaving those resources above ground for wintering waterfowl.
The result was the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission's Waterfowl-Rice Incentive Conservation Enhancement Program, or WRICE.
The first objective was to keep resources for ducks and geese on the landscape, so we're talking about waste rice seed.
The program also pays an incentive to farmers who allow permitted public hunting on their fields.
Kind of took a shot in the dark and said, hey, are these landowners willing to also lease out hunting rights during duck season and allow us to implement a permitted waterfowl hunt program on those properties. So we applied for some external funding actually through the Farm Bill, through the Department of Agriculture, and we're successful. And so we've got a grant we're operating under right now for 3 years to expand the program quite a bit.
Game and Fish has about 3,800 acres under contract with farmers for the current duck season. And while the practice of leasing private land for public hunting isn't new, programs focused on waterfowl hunting are a more recent development.
Not many people have really focused these types of programs on waterfowl like we did here.
The WRICE program helps farmers with their bottom line and provides additional public hunting land. But the main focus is waterfowl habitat. While rice fields help meet the needs of wintering waterfowl, they aren't as bountiful for ducks as they used to be. Efficient farm equipment, early maturing rice varieties, and fall tillage add up to less food for ducks, in many cases reaching a point where it's not worth a duck's effort to forage for waste grain.
We call that a foraging threshold, and we think that that's about 50 pounds per acre for ducks in rice fields. And a lot of these fields are right after harvest with efficient equipment. They're just at 100, 150 pounds per acre maybe, and then by the time you till it under and it's essentially zero. If it sprouts, it gets less, right? All these things are stacked against it. So this tries to just keep more of that on the landscape. Even though it's less than what it was 40 years ago, even what is still there after harvest is better than nothing.
Game and Fish awards incentives to farmers for not tilling in the fall and for holding water on the fields. There's an additional payment for allowing permitted public access. The program has been popular among Arkansas rice growers, with more applications to enroll in the program than available funding.
Farmer can go about and do his thing. He doesn't have to worry about somebody calling him saying, hey, the water's not right around my pit. 5 different people calling him every week of duck season. So it's really a lot simpler than maybe a revolving door of a bunch of people leasing out a field, and it's a different group of people every year. They've all got different opinions on what the farmer needs to do with that field. Every duck hunter has a different opinion on how it should look, how the blind should be set up, how everything should be done. Well, with us, it's just one person, and they've got to meet our requirements, and then they're done.
WRICE is also creating previously unheard of public rice field hunting on well-managed private land. Game and Fish conducts a weekly drawing for fields through its permit system at agfc.com. Applications are accepted from noon Thursday to midnight Sunday each week during duck season.
And so someone gets drawn on a Monday for a field they would hunt that upcoming weekend. A person gets drawn for it, they can hunt from a half hour before sunrise on Saturday till sunset on Saturday and do it again on Sunday. So they've got that whole weekend to figure out the property, learn where birds work, adapt. If they're busy on a weekend morning, well, they can go out in the afternoon. And that kind of opportunity is almost non-existent on public land in Arkansas.
It's a win for duck hunters, a win for rice farmers, and most importantly, it's a win for wintering waterfowl in the natural state.